For a whole decade, right, we all watched Smallville, the story of a young Clark Kent. But what if I told you that the show we thought we were watching had this secret set of rules, a hidden blueprint that made it totally different from any superhero story we'd ever seen? Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain and uncover that blueprint.
On the surface, the whole idea was super simple. This is the story of Superman, before he was Superman. Just a kid in Kansas, figuring out his powers, trying to find his place in the world. Seems pretty straightforward, right? Or was it? What if that simple premise was just the cover story? What if, from day one, the show's creators had a completely different, much deeper goal in mind? This quote, this right here, absolutely nails it. See, the show wasn't just about us waiting around for him to put on the cape. It was a 10-season deep dive into the real burden of potential, the sacrifices you have to make to be a hero. It was all about the painful, messy, human journey of becoming a legend. Okay, so let's really break this down. We're going to dive into the secret blueprint the creators used from the very beginning, and we're starting with the biggest, most important rule of them all.
And believe me, this one single principle defined Clark Kent's entire decade-long journey. They called it the no tights, no flights rule. And this wasn't just like a suggestion in the writer's room. No, this was a creative mandate from the get-go. The creators decided Clark would not fly and he would not wear that iconic suit until the absolute final moments of the entire series. Think about that. This one decision forced everyone to focus on the man, not the Superman.
And you have to understand just how radical this was at the time. Every other Superman story rushes to get him in the air and into the suit, right? But Smallville? They deliberately grounded their hero for a decade, all to explore his humanity. The whole focus shifted from the icon he was going to become to the actual person he had to be first.
But hey, the blueprint wasn't just about limiting Clark, what he couldn't do. It was also about rewarding the diehard fans by embedding Superman's history right into the show's DNA. And they started with some seriously clever casting. A perfect example of this is the casting of Annette O'Toole. Now, we all know and love her as Martha Kent, Clark's warm, amazing adoptive mother. And for most people watching, she was just a fantastic actress in the role. But for the longtime Superman fans, her being there meant a whole lot more.
Because, and this is so cool, almost 20 years before Smallville even existed, Annette O'Toole played Lana Lang opposite the one and only Christopher Reeve in Superman 3. So casting her as Clark's mom, that was no accident. It was a knowing wink to the fans, a little nod, a bridge connecting different eras of the Superman legend. Just brilliant.
So, okay, we've got these clever creative rules, these awesome historical nods, but let's be real. Making television isn't just about art, is it? It's also a business, and sometimes the realities of that business show up on screen in, well, some very obvious ways.
And that brings us to a moment that has pretty much gone down in television history. This was a time when the blueprint had to make a little room for a sponsor, a moment where art and commerce collided head-on, all in the form of chewing gum.
Yeah. In a Season 7 episode called Hero, the entire plot was driven by a character who gets superpowers from, wait for it, kryptonite-infused stride gum. I'm not making this up. It is now a classic textbook case study in how not to do product placement, mainly because the brand literally became the entire story.
But here's the best part, the truly poetic justice in all of this. That brand of gum, the one that took over an entire episode of the show, it's been discontinued. It doesn't even exist anymore. Meanwhile, Smallville is still being streamed, watched, and discovered by new fans all over the world. The story completely outlasted the product.
So when you put it all together, you take the creative rules, you add the historical winks, and you throw in the commercial pressures, you finally get the full picture. You can see the complete blueprint for what made this show's legacy so unique.
It was really a three-part formula, if you think about it. Step 1. Ground your hero with a non-negotiable rule that forces character development. Step 2. Honor the past with these smart, historical nods that reward your most dedicated fans. And Step 3. You gotta accept the commercial realities that are required to stay on network television for 10 seasons.
Which, it leaves us with one last big question. By deliberately breaking the biggest rules of being Superman, no flying, no suit, did Smallville, with all of its triumphs and, yeah, even its goofy gum-filled flaws, did it accidentally create the most definitive, most human origin story for the character we have ever seen? Something to think about.